Hey guys, welcome back. It is 5:30 in the morning, Sunday, and I am up because I couldn't wait to make more of these videos and keep giving you all the truth about gang stalking. So today we're gonna continue and we're gonna talk about remote neuromuscular electrical relay examples. We're gonna be using our targeted individual survival handbook, and I've read this like a couple of times, and this was written by many people. And just by reading it, you can actually get a very clear idea of what people believe during gang stalking. So it's insane. It's really crazy. So what the fuck happened? Ugh, where is it? So sorry about that. That was not supposed to happen. Implants, not tit implants, but like implants for like neuromuscular, neuro monitoring, whatever. Anyways, so I know I sound dismissive or perhaps ignorant about the whole thing about remote neuro monitoring. It is not that I'm ignorant. I read this already, and it is just that I do not. I did read it a couple of times, and I was invested in what it said, and I believed everything. Well, not everything. Like even when I was connected, I didn't believe the whole thing with the bugging and the implants and the bio tejido implants, the ones that are supposed to like work with your tissue and that it just sounded so absurd, so like anything out there, like super out there. And the person that wrote this was either someone who was trying to convince you of all of these things, or it was written by someone who was living all of these things. And that's exactly how they described it. So honestly, just take this as a description of what it feels to get gang stalked, because literally this information here is what makes most sense when you're getting gang stalked. It just is what makes more sense. Like it really is the most logical thing when you're getting gang stalked. For example, when I was first feeling the shaking on of the bed, at first thought I was like, oh, it's a demon. But then I paused, I relaxed, and then the next thing that made more sense was direct energy weapons. You know, it is just would make sense. Like, for example, when I was feeling the floor, well, that my body was shaking, that someone was under my bed. That's literally what made sense. You're trying to make sense of it. So like, what made more sense at the point when I was feeling like someone, like the floor was shaking, was that someone was on the floor below me, pushing from the floor, like from the floor, pushing from my floor upwards to where we're standing, and then following me around somehow through with a wheeled ladder and pushing the floor from underneath my feet. And I know it sounds insane, but you're constantly just looking for things to make you want to make sense of it. And when you figure out that your nervous system is doing things that it has never done before, then the whole operation fails. Everything starts making sense. So everything kind of just crumbles. The whole gang stalking operation crumbles, because when you see the truth, gang stalking is pretty much everything starts making sense. Everything, all the logic falls in place. Everything falls in place when you realize that it is not that I felt a cuff around my left ankle, and that they were using some type of energy beam, that because it was constant. It was I always felt like a cuff, like if I was like I had a ball and chain cuffed onto my left ankle for a year. And it was following me everywhere, and you're like, what the hell is this? It is only so sinister because you never contemplate, or you never even think about the possibility of that sensation being produced by your body, because it is following the narrative that the gang stalkers are pushing, because it's so parallel to everything that the gang stalkers are pushing. But in the reality, it is just a big, clever, amazingly effective manipulation of you and your nervous system. They know also that it works like that, because in order for you to cement, they want you to feel pain. And the less you move wherever it is that you're feeling pain, the more pain you're gonna feel, and they just want to make you feel pain. So they were trying to indirectly manipulate me into not moving my feet, so that the pain would cement, would be concentrated. Just like how they want you to push you to speak to the voices in your head, because the longer you speak to the voices in your head, the more they are going to cement in your head. Now they're gone, and I pull them up whenever I want to. Like I was able to get a skill of pulling up the voices, and it did have a permanent effect on me. But I wanted to keep it that way, where my inner self is still acts as a third person, or as a second person. It's not the same. Before gang stalking, I was my inner self, but now I speak to him like if it was another person, and it feels like it's another person. It just feels like that. But I think it's really cool. I think it was the coolest thing ever, because I feel like there's someone with me. So in the end, it was the coolest thing, because I feel like I have someone to talk to, and this me that is inside of me, talk shit to people that I don't like, but it's like he doesn't like some people for me. Like, I don't personally have a dislike for people, but this person, this inner self, has like a personality of his own, and I think I have so much fun with it. It's really kind of amazing. Now, anyways, and the after gang stalking, that was the thing that changed me, and I decided to keep it that way. Like, I am talking to me as a third person, like if it was someone else, and that's how I decided to keep the partition open, because I thought it was just a cool experience. And I fucking love it, let me tell you. Now, because, well, I feel like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not talking to myself. Like, this person can hate someone, but I don't feel like I hate someone. Like, it's literally like a divided self. I don't know how to explain it, but I can teach you how to do that. All you do is pretty much you talk to your inner self as if it was someone else. And then as you keep doing like that, it's like you're reprogramming your mind to reply to you as if you were someone else. Just like how gang stalkers programmed me to believe all these things, you can reprogram your perception of your inner self to be someone else. It's crazy how that is. We're gonna go over all the psychology aspects and about the brain and all of these things later on. But now we're gonna continue with the controlling abilities. No way. The examples of remote neuromuscular relays. First, so this is pretty much symptoms that this person was feeling when this person was writing this. So first, pin and pricking pain in the left side of the upper abdomen, probably stomach. 2, itching skin on places like hands, groin, legs, cheek, lower lips, head, nose, ears, more often than usual. Our remote neural monitoring uses an electrical relay to create the itches. This electrical relay seems to be 3D and can be pointed to any surface on the human body. GPS satellites provides precise three-dimensional position. And one's hand goes to the itch automatically. That's because the spinal cord neurons control pain and itch. So when I was having When I was having sensations of the cat that was walking on me, of someone blowing air on me, I I it was, this is gonna sound weird, but I felt the pixelation. I explored it and I literally felt like it was digital. I don't know how to explain it. It's really hard to explain. But I felt like I felt the pixelation of the sensation of of the blowing of air. It might make no sense, but the thing is that I read this before I felt that, so I was trying to make sense of it in the and I was looking for a confirmation of it to be digital. So I was looking for sensations and I was trying to make sense of it in the way that would confirm what the book said. So I was pretty much trying to feel it and I focused on it. I closed my eyes and I felt the pixelation of it. So pay attention to how this person says that you're feeling more itches than normal. So if you are getting gang stalked and you're using substances, you will feel more itching because your nervous system is hyperactive, depending on what you're taking. Additionally, if you're getting gang stalked, your nervous system will go haywire, and therefore you will feel more itches. You're gonna possibly bite your lip more often. So things like this you are going to start attributing to gang stalker because it is something that feels incongruent with you before the gang stalking. So anything that feels out of normal, you're gonna start attributing to gang stalkers. But the reality is that your mind is tired in a way that it has possibly never been before. Therefore, it's gonna do things that you have never experienced. Stop attributing these changes to gang stalking and try seeing the reality of it. That perhaps you're tired, you're confused, you have felt a lot of emotions, your perceptions are all worked up, so your nervous system will do things that are completely out of place. Now, the trick is to stop attributing all of these things to gang stalking. You have to, so typically how the mind works is that it goes to gang stalking first, and before trying to confirm it in any other way possible that makes more sense. And I was there, instead of believing that my nervous system was just shaking, I attributed it directly to someone shaking the floor from underneath my feet, which, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Now we're gonna we're gonna go on. So what's next? A reflex response occurs within the spinal cord. Motor neurons are activated and the muscles of your arm contract, moving your hand. This occurs in a fraction of a second before the signal has been relayed onto the brain. So you will have moved your arm towards the itch before even becoming conscious of the itch. So that's normal. So what this guy is saying is that whenever you have an itch, you're gonna move the arm and then you're gonna start scratching before you before you're aware of that you have an itch. So there's two types of thoughts that you have in your body. There is the closed loop thought processing, and then there is the open loop thought processing. So closed loop thought processing is the processing that squirrels have. So for example, when a squirrel is on an electrical wire, right? The squirrel is gonna run and it's gonna use its senses in order to that to the senses are pretty much gonna tell the body of the squirrel how to respond to the change in wind strength, to the swing of the wire, and it's gonna so that it will go from end to end of the electrical wire without making any mistakes. It is literally responding. So a squirrel doesn't think. A squirrel literally just responds to the feedback that it's getting from the environment, from its senses, onto its nervous system, and therefore it's all reflex, and the body is just, the squirrel's body is only responding to the input that it's receiving from the atmosphere, from its senses. Now, and we also have closed loop thought processing and open loop thought processing. For example, if there's a stove and you put your hand, you're gonna literally just move your hand away. You're gonna pull your hand away by reflex, because because your body doesn't have time to be like, oh, my hand is on the stove, oh, there is fire on the stove and it's really hot, ooh, I think it's burning my skin, I think that I must pull my hand away. Okay, I'm going to pull my hand away. So now I'm gonna contract my brachialis to move my hand up for my, no, that's not happening. You just freaking pull it out. It's a reflex. That is a closed loop thought processing. Just like if you have an itch, and if your mind is distracted, your body is gonna automatically just scratch it. It is not because you're being controlled by, you're not being controlled by an outside system. Is that the fact is that your body is programmed to react that way. So, for example, there was a time where I thought that I was at work, right, and there was like a hose hanging, and I hit it and I moved away from it because it startled me. I didn't see it there, and I felt like gang stalkers were trying to make me scared of things, and they were trying to make me react to things. But even when I have known this thing about closed loop thought processing and open loop thought processing, I attributed that reaction to gang stalkers, even when I fully know the science behind open loop and closed loop thought processing. I literally forgot about it. I'm literally just making the connections now. That I know the science of the brain. Why the hell didn't I put two and two together? That is how powerful the brainwashing of gang stalking is, that even though you know the science, you still attribute all of these things that are so logic to gang stalking. Like I literally know the science behind it, and I still attribute it. I still felt that gang stalkers moved my body, to make me feel like I was a scary cat. So what this person is describing is literally a closed loop thought processing, a little reaction of your innermost self. You're genetically predisposed to behave that way. Now, a reflex response occurs when the blah 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 blah. Okay, next. Sometimes hand doesn't go to the itch if you were aware of the itch. So if your hand doesn't go to the itch, if you're aware of it, it is because you made a conscious decision to not move your hand to the itch. That's it. That person must be so tired. Like it probably doesn't even want to move their hand. This makes no. Sometimes hand doesn't go to the itch if you were aware of the itch. You can be aware of the itch and not move your hand to the itch because you decided not to move your hand. Electrical relay itch done on others also, i.e. by passers standing near person visible to you. They do it to others to show as if R&M stalkers are following you or known persons are harassing you, which is not true. So this is true. So this is true in the way that you are going to see other people like itch, and you're going to feel that the gang stalkers are using the machine to make them itch, to remind you that they have power. And that and to remind you that they are making other people itch to mock you. But the reality is that everyone itches, everyone coughs, everyone goes, and when you're out of it, you still might be sensitized, but you're gonna be noticing all those that were triggers before, but they're not gonna trigger any negative emotion. But you're gonna be more aware of these things. The reality is that you never notice these things that people do because you just never paid attention to it. They blend in with every other sound. But after gang stalking, your awareness is super increased and you become super sensitive. So you're gonna start paying attention to a lot of sounds. A lot of your perception is gonna be expanded. It's kind of cool. It's a new power that you get after gang stalking. So, yeah, don't believe that other people are itching because they're using the machines on other people to mock you. The voices can even tell you that if you believe it. But just know that everyone itches. All right? So just know that. I thought it was true. I really did think so. So I like reading this to you because it really explains to you what other people think and how other people felt. So now we're almost done with this video. So now electrical, which is not true. Okay, wait. They do it to others to show as if the R&M stalkers are following you or known persons are harassing you, which is not true. Wow. So this person actually like, oh, but this person still believes that they're using remote direct energy weapons on other people to make you believe that they're harassing you. But just know that it is just people itching. It is not harassment. And it is not direct energy weapons used to make you believe that they're harassing you. No, it is only people itching. Period. Don't overthink it. Don't add anything else. That's it. Even though your perception and your emotions tell you that they're trying to harass you, that they're harassing you, just know that it's not true. It's only because when you have been trained to feel that way. Pay attention to your throat. If someone is itching, and you feel the negative emotion, you're gonna notice that your throat is gonna kind of activate. So the throat is somehow activated to your negative emotion. Now, next, blah blah, which is not true. So 3, electrical relay on the eye as if something touch your eye. 4, electrical relay on the left side of the chest, probably heart. 5, sharp pain on the left side of the upper abdomen, probably stomach. 6, pain at left and right back between approximately the lowest rib and the buttock, probably kidney. 7, electrical relay in the throat to make you cough. Everyone coughs. My coughs have become more regular, but I think it's because of I know that it's because of smoking, and if you were smoking crack, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be thirsty, and you're gonna be coughing a lot. So coughing was really was like a lot when I was getting gang stalked. But also I stopped drinking a lot of water. I don't know. Oh yeah, so I began coughing because when I remember that I told you that whenever I had like a throat that whenever they make you feel a negative emotion, and you feel that you get the knot on your throat, and then they bang. So my throat became really overactive, where it was like moving like that. It literally just felt like it was just like vibrating. It was really crazy. And that of course is gonna lead you to cough a lot. So I did cough a lot, and I know it's directly related to that, to the manipulation of my senses of my nervous system to make my throat overactive. Now, electrical relay on your arms as if a raindrop is falling on the arms. See electric shower. Oh, I've never seen that. We're gonna cover that later. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. We're gonna cover electric shower next time. That sounds interesting. And being highlighted for next time. Okay, so we're pretty much reading the symptoms or the delusions of another person. So just know that all of this that you're reading is a person who has been fully convinced that they're using direct energy weapons. Use this as a warning, and you're gonna possibly think that this is true. I'm telling you because this is pretty much what you can use as a diagnosis to see how successful gang stalkers have been in turning your perceptions. So they were 100% successful at turning my perceptions, but through logic and the art of logical thinking, which is a book that we're gonna go over later. It's gonna help you kind of decipher the truth behind everything gang stalking, and it's gonna allow you to see the truth. And when you see it, you're completely free. But you have to convince your inner self, the self that has taken the consciousness of the gang stalkers, you have to kind of like convince that again to be part of you again. It's a crazy process that we're gonna go over. Actually, I'm gonna note that so that we can talk about it later. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you. Bye.